people start blaming that why did it happen to me? I've not done something bad. I'm not a bad guy. I've not harmed people. A lot of time, they just keep feeling that thing inside that, why it has happened to me.
People think that the way their life operates, it's by chance.
Oh.
It's not by chance. It's by choice. So if you say that you have a miserable life and nothing is going right in your life, that's not by chance. That's by your choice. And it's by the quality of your thoughts.
How much do you think the time frame takes you to understand a problem and then to find a solution? Which is the least time frame and the maximum time frame, would you say?
Most people thought that I advise people.
Okay.
It's your life.
Correct.
Let's say if you're age of 40, you know what all challenges you have faced in your life, how I can decide for you what you should do in future. It is you who know best version
Correct.
of you. So what happens, like sometimes within that 45 minutes of session, that person gets that click, oh, this is what I was doing wrong. And then he says, I don't need any more of your session.
Okay. Oh, wow.
They're good enough.
In the first session, they are done.
Yeah. And there have been a set of people who live in that victim mentality forever, where they say or they believe whatever is happening in their life, it's because of bad luck, or they are not worthy enough, and then they live in that circle forever in their life. So probably even after a year you meet them, they're still the same.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and thank you for tuning in. Welcome to On Point with Abbas Hamidi. Today we have a very interesting person, a very well-known person in our studio today. He is none other than Yousuf FidAli Burhani, as we all know him. And apart from his melodies and his tunes that we all know, and apart from his very good communication skills, there was something very interesting that I have known about him recently, and because of that I wanted to really get him on this podcast and talk about it. Not many of you know that he is an NLP trainer. He is a life coach. Maybe I can say he's a mind coach. So Yousuf, could you please explain more about what you do and what do you mean by NLP?
First of all, thank you, Abbas bhai, for this lovely introduction.
My pleasure.
This is something, mind coach, that is something new for me, but you said it perfectly well. Yes, I am an NLP certified life coach, and a lot of people think that NLP is a very big jargon, and they think it's a very complicated because it stands for neuro-linguistic programming, and they start thinking that probably it's related to artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
But nothing as a sort. It
so
just
neuro-linguistic is a very scientific word. Can you make it more simpler for understanding?
In the most basic of terms, it is related to communication, how you communicate with people.
Okay.
So for example, there could be people, they say that there are three types of people. One is they are visually, what they see, they believe. One is auditory, they listen and they believe. And the third one is the kinesthetic, what they feel, they believe.
Oh, wow.
So if you can identify that quality of a person, then the communication becomes very easy.
Okay.
Let me give you an example. You're a person who are visually, you believe in seeing something. Yes. And I've been constantly telling you, look, listen to this. This is very nice. And I'm telling you the quality of it. So instead, if I could just show you the quality, it'll be easy for you to perceive and the communication becomes very easy.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's a very small introduction about NLP. And then it goes in depth about studying about the body languages and then a lot of things adds on.
So basically you try to know a person just by how he walks and talks. If he has a symptom or something he's looking for in life, then you try to program him in such a way, his mind in such a way that he can achieve that in his life, is what I understand is all about.
So I think you've perfectly described the whole NLP thing in a very, very short way.
Okay.
So what happens is as a life coach, we receive a lot of inquiries where people are suffering from, they have financial issues, they have relationship issues, they have issues at job, they have issues within their friends. So, and when you meet a stranger, and most of the people, they contact you through social media platforms.
Yeah.
And what happens, they don't directly come and tell you that they have a headache, They might beat around the bush and they tell you they're having pain here, they're having pain here. So what happens when you have a whole communication through the help of NLP, you're able to directly identify that he is having a headache. But then you wait for that minute where he builds on the trust with you, and then he actually goes and says, see, I'm having a headache. Yeah. Please give me a cure for that.
Okay. But you actually find out that why that headache is, right? It's where it is because of his paining in this part, or it's paining in his... what is the actual problem in the life is what you understand.
We help him identify. So that's the
so
difference.
he tells you his problem himself.
Yeah. So what happens,
That's what
like a doctor, when you go to him, the patient, he comes and gives the symptoms that this is what he's suffering from.
Yes.
So as a life coach, we also try to understand the symptoms of his life. Let's say probably he's having traumas, or probably he didn't have a very good childhood, and probably he didn't have good experiences in the past. So when we talk to them, the more we talk to them, the more we understand, and then we help him understand that this is the reason why you're having the issues in your life, and that's how we work together on. There are a lot of methods where we can help them too.
A very quick question: that how much do you think the time frame takes you to understand a problem and then to find a solution? Which is the least time frame and the maximum time frame, would you say?
It's a very good question. There have been instances where people come, and I used to initially start with a 45 minutes of free session for them to understand what coaching is all about.
Okay.
Because most people thought that I advise people.
Okay.
It's your life.
Correct.
If let's say if you're age of 40, you know what all challenges you have faced in your life, how I can decide for you what you should do in future. It is you who know best version of you. So what happens, like sometimes within that 45 minutes of session, that person gets that click, oh, this is what I was doing wrong. And then he says, I don't need any more of your session.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
They're good enough.
In the first session, they are done.
Yeah. And there have been a set of people who live in that victim mentality forever, where they say, or they believe, whatever is happening in their life, it's because of bad luck, or they are not worthy enough, they're useless, and then they live in that circle forever in their life. So probably even after a year you meet them, they're still the same. So the change has to come from within rather than than external.
I think that is because of the past generation and their mentality, which is carried forward to us. Maybe this is what I understand. Because a lot of things which happens, they need to give it, the responsibility to something. So maybe they say that, okay, this is probably, someone's nazar, or, all that kind of a thing that people say maybe. But it's, if you be practical, but I don't think that counts. I mean, if, of course, your, whatever you do in life is what is the outcome comes, right? So that is what I think is more. But as you rightly said, mind is the most important vessel in a body, is what I understand. Maybe after heart, but mind is what controls everything. My question to you is, how do you think that mind is, it shapes your thought? How do you think that is important in life?
Before I answer you this question, I would like to ask you a question. Do you know how many thoughts your mind produces in one day?
In one day?
In one day.
Maybe millions. Even I'm producing thoughts even when I'm sleeping, is what I said today. So maybe more than 1 million or something, I don't know.
So the science says that on an average daily, a mind produces between 40 to 50,000 thoughts daily.
Daily, okay.
Okay. Now comes to my second question. Looking at the current scenario of the world, you think most of the people have positive thoughts or negative thoughts?
Well, if you talk about me, so if I'm watching a news or a YouTube or something, it goes negative because a lot of things goes on wars and everything. But then there are some things where, you still stay positive and you think about the good things in life and things what is happening. So right now, more, I would say the more is negative, but yeah, there are positive thoughts as well.
So it's perfect answer. So a human mind is 80% negative thoughts and only 20% is the positive thoughts. And that 80% thoughts are basically repetition. I'll give you an example. So let's say you had a very bad instance today. You had some kind of mishap in your office, or you had some fight with your wife or something, God forbidden. So what happens when you go back in your space, you keep repeating the whole movie again and again, again and again, again and again. So what happens, that starts becoming your belief system. That starts becoming your response systems to an situation. So when that happens, that starts, your body starts consuming that kind of a thought process. Okay. So something bad happens. Yeah. So rather than looking at the good side of it, you get in that habit of thinking bad, and then your body language changes. Then total outcome of the situation changes.
A lot of time, people start blaming, that why did it happen to me? I've not done something bad. I'm not a bad guy. I've not harmed people. A lot of time, they just keep, feeling that thing inside that, why it has happened to me. But they don't see that, okay, there is a situation and then we can find a solution. But it's never, as you said it, this types of thoughts are it's very rare. And after later stage, maybe you've thought like 4 to 5 negative thoughts, then you take, I think, one positive thought and then try to solve the situation.
Yeah. So basically, that is again about how your mind is conditioned from childhood. So I want to explain something. Our mind is broken into three parts. One is the conscious mind, where we are doing things consciously. We are aware of what we are doing. Okay. The second part is your unconscious mind, when you go off to sleep, or probably when you don't know what's happening around you. That's unconscious. And the third and the most important part of your mind is called subconscious mind.
Subconscious mind. Wow.
What happens about subconscious mind is the subconscious mind gets trained from the time you're born till the age of 6 or 7.
So when you say subconscious mind, we have just one mind, right? I mean, so it's how would you just make it in a simpler form? Like, is it like something which is inside the mind, or it's a second mind altogether, or it's just a thinking mechanism that is there? How would you?
So it's the entire brain, okay? So I will not get into too much of technicalities, otherwise it's going to become very difficult for people to understand, but I'm going to simplify things. For example, there is a conscious mind that is required when you're awake to do simple things. I'll give you a very simple example. You go for learning driving. The first time, you're consciously putting your key inside. Okay, you're putting an indicator, you put a seat belt. You're conscious that you have to do this. You have to take a ride, you have to do that. But once you do repetition, now with repetition, your subconscious mind is becoming ready to drive the car. Tell me one thing. Today morning when you came to the studio, did you ever remember when did you put your seat belt, when you put your keys?
That's what I was about to tell you.
Where you took your drive, and so who was doing that?
Oh, that's the subconscious.
So that was the subconscious mind, and the core purpose of a subconscious mind is to take care of you and protect you.
Wow.
So it's a big bank of memory in your head that is there. So whenever you are coming across any kind of a threat, so that's the time when the subconscious mind takes over you.
Wow.
I'll give an example. Like a small kid is 6-year-old. Let's say you throw a ball at him. He'll get hit by the ball. He will not have that response system of protecting or catching the ball. But if you throw something at an adult, immediately there's a reaction. So that reaction is caused by the subconscious mind. For the kids, what happens? See, they say that when a child is small, be very careful of what you're putting in his head. Till the age of 7. And one characteristic of subconscious mind, it doesn't listen to the word not or don't.
It doesn't listen at all.
It cannot listen. It doesn't understand the word not and don't. So when a child is small, his subconscious mind is open. It's like open. Whatever you throw inside, he'll catch it. And when it becomes 7-year-old, then that mind starts closing, and now the conscious mind starts taking over his life. So if you put fear inside.
So whatever data is fed, whatever information.
At that time. So let's say when he's small, you tell him, don't go there. So he listens, go there. Where don't touch the switch. It's hot, don't touch it. So he listens, touch it. So we feel, I'm telling him not to do, but he's doing it more often. Because the subconscious mind is listening, do it. Go for it.
Correct.
So now what happens, even when you become big, I'll give you one more example. It's a very interesting example. We play cricket.
Yeah, correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And often the captain has one complaint any part of the game where we play, that the team drops a lot of catches. So when they start of the match, don't drop a catch. Catch chhodna nahi hai. So subconscious mind, one best thing about it, it always, it operates in terms of pitches. So if I tell you something right now, let's do an exercise right now. Okay. I'll ask you to do something. Okay. And let me see how your subconscious mind responds in terms of pitches. Okay. Close your eyes.
Okay.
Don't think of a pink elephant. What are you thinking?
A pink elephant. So that's what it is all about.
That's all. So when we play cricket, we tell our fielders, take the catch. So now he's imagining himself taking the catch. So the chances becomes more that he's going to take the catch. When you say don't drop the catch, so he's imagining himself dropping the catch. So this is the little changes which you make towards
your
the subconscious
conversation.
mind. It really helps in life.
Wow. This is a great insight and a great knowledge to have. I didn't know that we had two minds. I think I've heard a very good line which says that you need to become a disaster before you become a master. So I think that whatever information is fed in your mind, it helps you become better and better. So if you feed negative information, keep feeding negative, and then that's how your life becomes when you grow older. You don't have that energy or the motivation to do things. So that's why I think a lot of times people keep saying that talk positive. And we also say that if you say things positive, it will happen. But it is actually that way, because positive things help you manifest the positive energy in you. This is what I understand by what you said. So it's a great I just wanted to know that for us as a business community, so I'm a second generation entrepreneur, right? So how would you suggest, how would you advise our listeners and myself as well, that how would I train my mind to achieve more of what I'm doing right now? How would you say that, what would be the habits, what would be the best way to get the best out of yourself?
Okay. The most important thing, first we do this activities, like you have your clear goals.
Okay, so you write it down or something?
You write down your clear goals, you can have your short-term
But sometimes
goals.
what happens, Yusufa, is we don't even know what my goals are, because the life is so repetitive. It's so like in a own schedule. We wake up, I take a walk, I go to my shop, I come back at 1 o'clock, I go again at 4 o'clock. It's so repetitive. Sometimes I don't even understand what my goals should be in life. Sometimes, okay, I keep a very strong thought and then I say, okay, I need to achieve these sales target this week or this month. But that's it. How would you suggest that? How would someone know what goals they need in life?
Okay. Before I answer that question, again, I'll come back to one important point. People think that the way their life operates, it's by chance.
Oh, okay.
It's not by chance. It's by choice. So if you say that you have a miserable life, and nothing is going right in your life, that's not by chance. That's by your choice. And it's by the quality of your thoughts. Again, I'm going to come back to the same point of positive thoughts and negative thoughts. Like you said, if you think positive, the outcome will be positive.
Yeah.
Right? The most important point here is the suffering first happens in imagination.
Oh.
Than in reality. So more you suffer in your imagination.
Yes.
Than in reality.
Yes.
So when we say think positive, people want to think positive. But since childhood, they've been trained to think negative. Why? Again, I said, your subconscious mind's sole purpose is to protect you. So for example, as a business community, the moment you share about a new venture or your new business idea, so what happens? The first thing comes in fear. Your subconscious mind is protecting you from not failing.
Right.
Am I making sense?
Yeah.
So when you feel I want to do something, but I'm not able to do something, so your subconscious mind wants to take you back to that routine.
Yes. Okay.
Get up in the morning, go to office, because that you're aware of it.
Yeah. That's
but
your
you're
safe
not aware.
zone.
That's a safe zone.
Safe zone for
They always want to protect you.
Yeah.
So when you break a habit, so that is why when you go off to sleep, that's the time when your subconscious. So there is a stage called alpha and beta. The alpha and the beta is your awake stage.
Yeah.
Beta is little drowsy stage. Then you go back to theta and delta stage. That's the time when your subconscious mind becomes active, when you're totally sleeping and you're in your deep sleep.
Yeah.
So it is very important before you go to sleep what kind of information you consume. So if you watch a lot of violence on Netflix or movies and stuff, so when you go off to sleep, this directly affects your quality of your thoughts, your thinking process.
Yes, so, I think a lot of people now have a very common habit of watching TikTok videos or Netflix, or because during that time when you're in bed and you're not still sleeping, you have that buffer time where you just take your phone, and then at that time I feel sometimes that whatever video that comes, you're watching it, no matter whatever content it is it positive, negative, does it affect, but you're just watching, you just say it's just like seconds of video, and then you swipe up. But how much it affects the mind is what I understand today by what you're saying, that okay, when you watch those videos or those habits and then you go to sleep, I think the mind manifests that inside you.
So the subconscious mind starts chunking. It's the word called chunking. So whatever your conscious mind takes when you're awake, when you go off to sleep, so that's why they say it's very important for you to take at least 4 hours sleep. And the peak hour of sleep is between 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. Some people go to sleep at 4 a.m. So you have lost that 2 hours of slot where your subconscious mind is going to sit and chunk all that information. It's going to put, if you have learned a new skill, it's going to put it in one memory bank. If you learned something new language, it's going to put it in another memory bank. So very important what you see before you sleep. So when your mind is working in a very clear, so what happens, why we do meditation? So that we are clearing of space of unwanted data, redundant data, not needed. When you clear off, so now your mind is ready to absorb new information.
Correct.
When you absorb new information, now you're training your subconscious mind away from the junk and you're training it to take risk in life. Go fearful, fearless. So that's how the answer to that question is that the business people, if they want to jump into a new venture. So also it's very important the kind of people you hang around with.
So your friends and even family, whatever.
Very, very important.
It's very important. Wow.
Okay, I'll tell you a very interesting thing. thoughts. Let's get back to the first point, thoughts.
Thoughts. Yeah.
Okay. Your thoughts create your feeling. So if you're thinking positive right now, so you're going to feel positive. When you continuously feel positive, then it becomes an emotion.
Yeah.
When it becomes an emotion, it becomes a vibration.
It becomes a vibration.
Vibration.
Wow.
So we all are vibrating right now.
Okay. Yeah. So the movement or what you.
Vibration. I'll explain you more. Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
Okay, the greatest scientist. He has said, if you want to unlock the secrets of the universe, it's always important for you to look into, in terms of energy, vibration, and frequency.
Wow.
Everything is vibrating right now. This is vibrating. This is vibrating. I am vibrating. Okay. If my vibration matches with your vibration, we suddenly find that we are good friends.
Oh.
So now we are on the same frequency. Wow. If we are on the same frequency, we will get forward in achieving more bigger goals in life. So if you are, let's say, again coming back to the thoughts.
Do you think that we need to have a vibrating device in our pockets?
Yes. If you put and you see, you're vibrating. At what frequency you're vibrating? So if you are feeling weak, you're feeling sick, so you're vibrating at a very low frequency. And what happens when you are having an emotion, whether it's positive, that was triggered by a positive thought, and it becomes an emotion, that emotion becomes vibration. Now that vibration, you become like a magnet. So if you have a positive vibration, you become a magnet, you start attracting all positive things in life.
Yeah. So if you're positive, you attract positive energy.
You're positive, you met me, today I'm doing a podcast with you. So probably there was some kind of frequency that attracted to each of us. So if you have a vibration that says that I want to do positive podcast and I want to reach out to maximum people to help people, you suddenly find those kind of people. So now you've become a magnet.
Yeah.
That is the kind of people you attract. Now you're shaping your own life with your thoughts. Coming back to that point. How you shape your life with your thoughts. So if you think I'm useless, always bad things happen with me. So now you're vibrating a very low frequency. Now what kind of people are you going to attract?
Negative, of course.
People who are going to take advantage of you. Example, I was coaching one person. She had a failed marriage. She got married again. The marriage failed again. She got married again, third time. And it's the same pattern that has been following. And she's saying, I've been very unlucky. So this is not a matter of being unlucky. This is a matter about how you're vibrating. What is your frequency? Do you have a victim mentality that all men are same?
So thought process.
It's a thought process.
Wow.
So she had a bad experience with first marriage, second marriage. So she has been led into believing that all men are same. Marriages don't work.
Wow. That's a very important thought. And I want to ask you one thing. Even when I'm sitting with my friends, a lot of times very, very good ideas are brainstormed, okay? I mean, when you think that, okay, if this idea becomes a reality, it's going to create wonders and it's going to change the world and those level of ideas. But suddenly what happens is that we just discuss the ideas and that's it. I mean, the ideas do not reach to a point where it becomes a reality. And why I'm telling you this is because of the mindset. The thought process, what happens is that when we are there, we meet at a very positive energy. And then we are going back, we just go back to our own, normal daily lives. And that life is what I believe sometimes has some things which are not according to our thoughts. Like you are not approved of going, maybe for example, going back to the same office again and again, or maybe you want to do something else in life. But it's not permitting you to do, or maybe you don't have that kind of resource to achieve it. So those kind of negative thoughts, does not allow that idea to even reach to a next level. So those thought process is, the negative thought process are affecting us so much, and all the good things in life, we ourselves are, removing it from our life. So this is what I understand, and it's an amazing point that you've said. Also, one more thing I wanted to ask, that you talked about conscious and subconscious mind. How would you differentiate? I mean, doesn't the normal mind also does the same thing, what you said? I mean, take decisions, help us take decisions. Wouldn't that be?
It does. See, human mind is a very complex thing, but it is the best thing. That it is. If you do research, they say that a body doesn't die till the mind dies. So till the time the mind is alive, it keeps the whole body active.
Yeah, correct.
So when the complexity of the mind is so high, so we have to understand the potential of it. Like you said, if a guy is having a business idea, but that is backed by fear, And what happens is like, I personally believe when you have an idea, you share it with people who are fearless in life. And if you are going and sharing with a person who's full of fear, he will instill fear inside you, and that idea dies.
The idea is gone.
Most of the time, what happens when a person gets an idea, in that moment of excitement, he goes and shares it with people who are going to kill the idea. Nah, it doesn't work. Nobody's doing it. Why should you? Why should you do?
Yeah.
So it all starts with planting.
How will you do it? And a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Planting the seed of thought. Wow. Do you think that thoughts are enough to create the reality? I mean, if you think about it in your mind, would you think how much of a job is done, would you say?
Everything is about thoughts. I'll give you a very good example. There was a guy, and he was very happy in life. He had everything. He was living his life to the fullest, and he was very happy, and everything was going very smooth in his life. So, in India, we have the street astrologers who sit and they tell you bhavishya about your future, and it's going to how bright. And so he said, okay, I don't believe in all this. Let me just have a look at it.
Yeah.
He went with one of the guys and he said, okay, tell me what is my future. And that guy said, oh, you're going to die after 3 months.
In 3 months?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that guy died after 3 months.
Oh.
So does it mean that guy's bhavishwani or his prediction was right? No, that guy, just by listening to the thought that he's going to die after 3 months, he went into depression.
Oh my God.
That's when all the negative thoughts start coming in. And then his life became miserable and he died.
Yeah.
So it all started with that thought.
Yeah. So just on a light note, my mother used to tell me that whatever you think, God will give you.
Yeah.
So if you think negative, God will give you negative. If you think positive, God will give you positivity. So I think in this case, the guy was saying that I'm going to die, and he got what he did. Oh my God!
So your mother knew the basics of the subconscious mind.
So is she called an NLP trainer?
She should.
So apart from all the other degrees that she had, one more is in the list. Because every day, when I take advice from her, she blows my mind. The stuff she tells me, I'm like, sometimes it's out of this world. But yeah, of course, they have their own way of guiding us.
So even same for my mom. Whenever she has a solution to all the problems.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes she has problems to all solutions also. So there have been times when I'm just sitting with her and I just said, Mom, I should publish a book. Mummy ke 99 totke.
99 solutions of a mom. Okay, one very interesting thing that comes in my mind is attitude. How would you say that how important is attitude? And if a person has the right attitude, how much can he achieve in life? And if he has the wrong attitude, how much? And how does your thought process help him in that?
See, attitude, again, there are a lot of factors that build an attitude. Okay. It again depends on the personality his dad has when he was small. A lot of children today are, they are subject, they can witness abuse between their parents. That is the worst and the most toxic environment the child grows in when he sees that abuse between the parents. Yeah. Okay. In today's generation, what happens is like a father tells the son what he should do.
Correct.
Rather than a father should show him
the options.
Become an example. He should set as an example. So if a child grows up in an environment where he's loved, he's got care, he's got all kind of affection, when he grows up big, he's going to shower the same affection and love towards all the people around him.
Correct.
But when a child is small and is craving for that attention, so what happens when he grows big? He's craving for that same attention from people. Yeah. So he's always insecure. So that insecurity is built inside him. That is not helping him grow his attitude. And then his attitude towards everything, it becomes like, it shows in his behavior, shows in his character.
I think a lot of thing here happens because the father side is that they've understood life in a certain way, and then they've achieved success with those kind of ways. So they don't understand that there are other 100 ways to be successful. Maybe they understand, but I think it's very difficult for them to believe that the other 99 ways can also be successful. I mean, also be a positive impact on my child. So they've created one set of a business or a set of the way of living. They want to embed their son or whoever they want into that life so that he also becomes successful. So but what happens is that at that time the communication between the child and the parent is very important, I think. I mean, what would you say? Like, a child needs to sit with his parents, say that, okay, this is my skill set, I need to do this and that. What are your thoughts on that?
See, I'm a father of two sons. Okay, one of my son is almost 16 years old, another one is going to turn 7. I make it a point whenever I go back home, I have to spend 1 hour with them.
1 hour.
And that 1 hour I play cricket with them. I sit and do painting with them, draw with them. We do crazy stuff together. So what happens, that bond is built at that time. Most people, they go back home with that frustration they had at work or business or wherever they had that frustration. They take that frustration back home if they're tired or they're stressed out. They kind of are not able to give that quality time to their children. Now, when your son
just let me ask you, what do you mean by, a lot of people tell me quality time. What do you mean by quality time?
Quality time in the sense you should have a discipline that when you reach home, your phone's switched off, you are not on social media. So you're setting an example, look, I'm not on social media. So they're saying, don't use phone. I'll put a limit on your screen time. Why can't you have a screen time limit on yourself? Set an example for your children. Like, I don't answer my calls after 10 o'clock, no matter how important it is. Okay, leave a WhatsApp message, I'll reply WhatsApp message.
Okay. So you set boundaries and set habits and set rules in the house, even for yourself.
For myself,
that's a discipline.
I set an example for them. So now when my son turned a teenage, he's turned 16 now, I take him out for a drive every week.
Wow.
We go out for a drive and I listen to all his problems, his friend issues. I asked him, do you have a girlfriend? And I become like a friend to him. See, the generation, now the dynamics has changed completely. I take my son out for a drive and then I make sure that I spend enough time with my other son as well so that, he's also, basically it's all about teaching them
a good communication with them, what they think in their mind.
So you build a very good rapport with them on a long run.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Wow, I think we've had a very interesting topic and I would just keep on talking on this because it's so important and so relevant in everyone's life that, this can just keep going on. But unfortunately, we are in the nick of time today. Just to conclude, I want you to give a final advice to my listeners, whoever is there today. That what would be your advice for life and how would people go about things when it comes to them?
So there was a statement which I said that the most suffering that happens is happening in your imagination than in reality. I have come across a lot of people who question me that how do I stop overthinking, because that is where all the problem starts. So I will give a takeaway today to all the people who are listening to us today, how to stop overthinking. First and the most important thing is you should start thanking for whatever you have. So there's an exercise which I've been doing for months. It's almost many years, and I make my clients also do this. Is daily there is a gratitude list of things that you're thankful for. Trust me, once you start in the depth of that gratitude, you realize the list is endless.
How much you have in life.
How much you have in life.
Others do not, You're
waking up in the morning, you got food on your plate, and people are suffering out there.
Yes,
the world situation right now, it's so bad, people. So if you compare your life with them, so what happens? We live our life comparing with people ahead of us. Let's say we are comparing our cars, we're comparing our homes, we're comparing our jobs. So that is where the overthinking happens, because you feel there is a gap in your life. But once you start building this gratitude list and you read it properly, that's when you realize that you have
everything that takes
more than enough. So when that overthinking stops, that's when the overthinking stops. Then that makes space for you to start thinking positive. And then you see you're attracting more abundance. I told you about being a magnet. When you start doing this gratitude, you're vibrating a frequency that is super.
Wow. That's a great statement and great advice. Thank you, Yousuf bhai. And I would like you to come back again because I really enjoyed talking to you. And
no, definitely. It was a very good experience.
Thank you.
Abbas, you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
With this podcast, you're able to reach out to so many people. Even there could be a lot of people who need this positivity and the kind of message you're trying to put across through this podcast. And the team is doing such a fantastic job.
Thank you.
And
thank
I really
you very
like
much.
The setup also.
Thank you. Thank you. We're trying to do our best. And thank you to all our listeners who are here. So Yousuf bhai is always, I'll leave the contact details if you want to get in touch with Yousuf bhai to know more about the topic that we spoke about and much more of what he does. I'll leave his contact details in the banner below. And thank you for listening once again, and do subscribe, share and like, and try to support the channel by sharing and spreading the word. Thank you.